everybody, today I wanted to talk all about Amazon ads because it's something I've not covered on this channel before. Actually, I haven't got much marketing content on here yet, so that's something I'll be working on over the next few months. If you're new to this channel, I make videos about indie publishing, writing and also bookish stuff, what I'm reading, that kind of thing. Over the last few months I have been playing with ads and I've got some tips and tricks to share with you. I have done a bit of research, a bit of experimentation, and yeah, I wanted to share all that. So what I'm going to do is run through my experience with them and why it didn't work before, basically, and then I am going to give you some hints and I'm going to do a run through of setting up an ad. So hopefully you'll find some useful bits and pieces in here. I will also link below some videos that I found helpful in getting some ideas. So yeah, to start off with, my past experience with ads was that when I brought my first book out, Milk, in those days, like it was that long ago, it came out in 2018, you could only place an ad in the .com Amazon marketplace, and you also, I believe, could only put an ad on the Kindle version of your book. Could be wrong there, but I think that's right. And I wanted to set an ad for the UK, for the .co.uk market. Since then, it has expanded. You can do your paperback, you can do several markets. I know there's like Canada, I can't remember what others, but there's a number. I'll link it of what markets you can do. And so it took me a little while. I didn't set an ad up immediately after my book came out, and then I decided to have a go with it. I only ran an ad for a week in the .com market, and what happened was I actually, on reflection now, didn't set it up very well, and I was spending a lot of money for my sale. I made one sale, and basically seeing my money disappear, I panicked and I just pulled the ad. And so rather than experimenting and getting it to work, I just completely panicked and just thought, you know what, this isn't working. I would rather market to, although I do sell books in the US, I do sell far more in the UK, so I would rather market within my own marketplace. And I decided at the time just to focus on free marketing, so social media, anything I could do in person, things like going on the radio, all that kind of stuff. But the trouble with that, although those methods are amazing, is that you only have a reach kind of within a certain circle. So the people you know, whether that's you actually know them or people you know online, or perhaps, you know, if you do something like going on local radio or doing an interview or something, again, it's still limited. It's limited within those circles, whether it's where you live or where you know somebody and then it's their audience. It's still kind of small increments. Whereas if you can put an ad on something, that goes out, I mean, not globally, but, you know, within that market to anybody who is interested. So it's not just people who are interested who happen to be within your sphere. It's hopefully getting out to far more people, people that you don't know or people who don't know you. And really, most of us don't have massive social media followings, or, you know, you're not getting much reach with the limited things that you can do for free. Although absolutely do them because they are amazing and I have got a long way with them, but it's just limited is what I mean. And I started thinking at the end of 2020 about changing my business and trying to scale things up a bit more and trying to increase my reach, increase the things that I try, be willing to put money behind things that potentially could sell books or potentially be useful for my business. Basically grow my business, but be more adventurous, I suppose. Adventurous isn't really the right word. Be a bit more bold with it and try things. And yeah, so along that vein, I started to play with Amazon ads again. Now you can only use the Amazon ads really if you publish with KDP. If you publish with Ingram Spark or something, you don't have access to that dashboard. So unless you have a KDP version of your book, you're not able to place an ad. But you can do things like, for instance, if you have an Ingram Spark paperback, but you've got a KDP ebook, then you can put ads on the ebook, and then obviously people might still click through to other versions of the book, if that makes sense. But you do need some KDP access to that dashboard. So let's go through some tips. Now, the biggest tip that I can give you, and I'm going to tie this back into kind of my experience, is to set yourself a disposable budget. And this is where part of where I went wrong the first time around, because I kind of thought, well, it's okay because I'll be getting a return on my money. And then when I wasn't getting a return for my money, I panicked because I'd already invested so much money into my book, and to see even more money disappearing and not getting the sales, I just couldn't. I couldn't face losing more money. Rather than seeing it as speculate to accumulate, as I said, just panicked. This time around, I said to myself, well, let's set a budget of money that it doesn't matter if I get no return, if I literally throw that money away, and see it as an experiment to learn about Amazon ads. Does it work? What works? Is it worth it? In what circumstances? That kind of thing. And it did help that I have more streams of income now. Not that I'm like rolling in it, absolutely not. But yeah, back then I was basically seeing no money coming in and just loads of money coming out, whereas now I do have a little bit more flexibility, but really very little. So anyway, the point is that I felt a little bit more comfortable with budgeting a pot of money and say, I accept that I may not get this money back. Obviously you hope you will, but I think it's good to see it as already gone. So then it doesn't matter if it doesn't work out. So whatever that budget is, I would say set that money aside in your head. And that really, really helped, because it meant that when I was spending lots of money, it didn't matter because I'd already accepted that I was using that money as an experiment. I hope that that makes sense. So then the next thing is have a really big think about your keywords. This was the other thing that I really got wrong. First thing I would do as well is look at the keywords, the search terms that you have set when you published your book, and you can go back in and you can change those. You can go in on the KDP dashboard and equally do it if you've got an Ingram Spark book. Go in and change your search terms, because it will help with people trying to find your book in general. I discovered that in publishing my book, the keywords I had used, I think I just got the wrong idea and hadn't realised that those keywords you put in are search terms. And I just put the most random words in. And I mean, for Milk as well, I put things like memoir. Someone looking for a memoir is not looking for my book Milk. They're just not. Although it is a memoir, it's not really for that audience. And I'd put in, I don't know, it's just random, really random words. So have a look. First of all, before you even worry about ads, look at when you published your book, what keywords have you put in, because that will help your discoverability anyway. And try and imagine your customer who is looking for your book and what they would type in. And I definitely found that there were a few things that I thought would work, but actually, is that person really looking for my book? So for example, if someone types in parenting book, they're really looking for a guide to parenting. They're not so much looking for, my book is more about sort of support and a social commentary. So you've got to think about, is that customer looking for my book? Because otherwise, when they're clicking on the ad, they're not going to then buy because it's not really what they were looking for. So yeah, first of all, because you're going to need your keywords for your ad anyway, but I would say before you do that, go into your publishing page, look at your keywords. Have you chosen them sensibly? Are they things that people would type in when they're looking for your book? Because my keywords were very strange. Like they really were. Some of them weren't even really related. So yes, do that first. So then I am going to run through how to set up an ad with those two things in mind. And yeah, I'll do a bit of a walkthrough, and as I go, we'll share some more tips of things that I have found to have helped. So here's my laptop screen. Now you can see that on the ebooks you've got this promote and advertise option. This is the KDP dashboard, and the same here. This is the paperback, so I can promote the paperback. I think you didn't used to be able to, but I could be wrong. But if you want to do that, it's in there. You have to hover over the three dots instead. But I am going to do basically a mocked up ad for the ebook of Milk. So we select promote and advertise, and it will take you through to this page. Now you have the option here to enroll in KDP Select if you haven't already. If you're unfamiliar with that, it's an exclusivity thing with Amazon so that people who have Kindle Unlimited can read your book for free, and you get paid per page. So you can choose to be in that. This book isn't in KDP Select. What that means is I don't have this option, so I can't do a Kindle countdown deal, which is where you can schedule a time-based promotional discount for your book, and customers will see the discount and the time remaining at that price level. So I can't do that. So when I change the price of my book, I have to just do it manually, and the price changes. It doesn't say what price it used to be or anything like that. So I can't do that. I also can't do a free book promotion, which can be helpful for getting reviews. But personally, I prefer to publish wide with this one. So I use Draft to Digital. So my book is on not Kindle, well, it is on Kindle. It's on Kobo and Nook and other platforms, which means that I'm not eligible for this stuff. You could if you wanted to, but that's not what we're talking about today. It's just that comes up when you do the promote and advertise. We're talking about run an ad campaign. So you can choose your marketplace. Like I said earlier, there's more marketplaces now. So .com, .co.uk. You've got Germany, France, Italy, Spain, Canada, and Australia. So lots of options if you want them. Let's choose a marketplace. Let's say .co.uk. I'm going to briefly show you the difference between the two, and it's only slight. So we say create an ad campaign. You're then taken through to the advertising, platform. And you can see I can do a sponsored product. Now, if we go back and I choose .com, I think it's slightly different. Let me see. And you'll see that on .com, I have got other options, you see. So sponsored product still. I can do sponsored brands. So basically, it comes across the top of the page and it can be all of my books. I think that's pretty expensive. And the same for lock screen ads. It's very expensive, so that when somebody's reading their Kindle, your book will come up on their page, on their page when it's locked. That's why it's called a lock screen ad. So yeah, and that enables them to shop from there. We're not talking about those for today. We're talking about sponsored products. So I'm going to carry on with that one. Right, so you can give your campaign a name if you want to, but you don't have to. Choose when it's going to start, choose when it's going to end. I personally don't put an end date on my ad campaigns because I keep an eye on them regularly. If I'm unhappy with them in any way, I tinker with them, and I've paused them in the past. You can just pause it instead of deleting it. You can stop it altogether. So if you want to set an end date and allow it to run, you can, or you can put no end date and then just keep an eye on it, which is what I choose to do. It's completely up to you. Then set your daily budget. So I have been setting mine at about £5, which is about $6, I think. And it's up to you. You won't be spending $6 a day. You will be spending up to $6 a day. So set it at a level where you really don't want it to go above that point. But just be mindful that that doesn't mean you are spending that every day. It depends how much your book comes up. So yeah, set it as something that you don't mind losing, but the chances are it probably won't go as high as that, but it certainly won't go higher. So I set it at $6. Now here you can choose automatic targeting if you want. That means that Amazon will decide on how to promote your book and will promote it to customers that it thinks it should, depending on what they're searching for.
I personally prefer to do manual targeting. Again, you can play. That's the nice thing if you have set that disposable budget. If you want to try automatic targeting, go for it. See how you go. But I'm going to run through manual targeting. With automatic targeting, you basically just set your budget and that's it. So in fact, let me show you that. So automatic targeting, you can choose your kind of bid. In the US, you can set some text for your ad. In the UK, you don't. And then you set a default bid, whatever price you feel, and then you press go. Basically, in a nutshell. That will all make a bit more sense once I've run through the manual targeting, because I want to go into more detail here. Right, so choosing manual targeting. So you get to choose whichever kind of targeting you do, what kind of bid you want to choose. Now, the way that Amazon ads work is via a bid. So if somebody searches for your book, and depending on how many people have that keyword set, it will, depending on who's got the highest bid, basically, that will then determine which ad shows. So obviously, the more money that you put into it, the more likely it is that you're going to win those bids. But then there's a limit to how much money you want to spend. So you can choose whether you want to have bids that can only be moved down. So if you set your bid at 50p, or sorry, we're in dollars here, aren't we? 50 cents, then if it doesn't need to spend that much, Amazon will lower it and make it 30 cents or whatever. So you could choose down only. You can choose up and down, which means that Amazon will raise your bid if it means that you will win it. But that depends how you feel about spending more money. I tend to choose up and down. Again, that's up to you. Again, you can play. You also have this option of fixed bids. So you say, it is this much, that's exactly how much it is. I don't want it to change. Again, that's up to you. So I choose up and down. It's completely up to you. Then in the US, as I say, this option isn't in the UK. You can choose some custom text or you can have a standard ad. Up to you. I choose custom text. You have the option of adding some more products so they can feature in the same ad, but I'm just going to do it for this ebook. Right, then we choose whether we want keyword targeting or product targeting. Now, for the product targeting, it is if, as it says, use this strategy to help shoppers find your product when browsing detail pages and categories or searching for products on Amazon. So that's going to be if somebody is specifically shopping for a certain kind of product, or like it says, going through the keywords. It's not really what I want. Again, play with it if you want. I want to base it on keywords. I want it to be based on what somebody is typing in so that I can make sure that I'm getting the right customers. That's how I want to do it. Then we go down to here where it suggests some keywords. Now, I honestly don't think that people searching for my book are going to type in Milk Emma Rosen. And to be honest, if they type in Milk Emma Rosen, they'll find my book. So I don't need to pay for that. Breastfeeding milk. I mean, really? Are they searching for milk? You can't sell that on Amazon anyway. So, and story. Brilliant. You know, are people searching for story really looking for me? So I don't want any of this. So I'm not going to add any of those. So enter a list. You can upload a file where you've typed all those into an external document if you want, but I just type them into a list. So I'll give you some examples. So I might want somebody to be looking for a breastfeeding book. Now, treat this in the same way as when I was saying about your keywords on your publishing page. This is what people are typing in. So if someone is typing breastfeeding book into Amazon, I want them to have my book come up as a sponsored thing because I figure they might want my book. That may well be my customer. So you can see here you've got these different options: broad, phrase, and exact. It explains that up here. So broad contains all the keywords in any order, includes plurals, variations, and related keywords. Phrase contains the exact phrase or sequence of keywords, or exact exactly matches the keyword or sequence of keywords. So you can delete some of these if you want to. So let's say I also want to do breastfeeding gift because somebody might want to buy it for somebody. And let's say I also want to do, let's say, baby shower gift. So like I said, think what they're typing in. Let's add those for argument's sake. Right. It's then going to give you some suggested bids, suggested amounts, and it will tell you the range that's likely to work for you. Now, what you have to think about here is, what is your royalty? You do not want Amazon to be dynamically bidding your bid up, or that you've set it so high that you're not going to get your royalty back. And actually, most people are going to click on your sponsored product a number of times before you make a sale, probably. Not everybody who clicks is going to buy it. So you want this to be a fraction of your royalty. That may be something that you choose to change. So you want it to be within the suggested bid so that it's actually going to work, but you want it to be something that's not going to cost you money. So put in whatever you choose. Now, I read a tip, always make this like an odd number. Someone might have put in £1 or $1.20, so you want to be $1.21. So always set it to a strange number. And go through and see what you want to set. I am going to decide right now that I'm going to go with what they've suggested. But look, I'm going to make that 141. You don't have to. I've changed these up and down. See how you feel. They all look all right. I'm going to make that 96. Oh, I didn't press save on that other one. You have to press save. Oh, for goodness sake. £1, $1. Can't cope with the different currencies. Save. There we go. So those are all saved. Now, another option you have, before I move on to that, other things you can do is search terms. Think about, it depends how you feel ethically about this. You could have it so that if there's another popular book or another popular author, so let's say you've written, I don't know, horror, you could put Stephen King in there, because then if people are searching for Stephen King, would they click on your book? Maybe. Or you could put in the specific title of another book that is similar to yours if you wanted, so that if they're looking for that book, they might like yours. So you can do that if you want. It depends how you feel about that. But yeah, that's another option for your targeting. Right, negative keyword targeting. What you can do in here is things that you specifically do not want your book to come up in. So one example, some people put in free book, because they really don't want their book to come up if people are searching for free books. If somebody was putting in free breastfeeding book, well, I don't want my book to come up in that, for example. So you could add that if you want. But anything basically where you think, if somebody's searching for that, I don't want my book to come up, you can put in your negative keyword targeting. And then on the American market, you have the option to put in some custom text, which, wow, okay. This is about Sherlock. That's the suggested one. So you can put in whatever you want. You could put in, I don't know, I actually have text on that, I can't remember what it is. Let's say powerful breastfeeding memoir. That's terrible, but we'll just go with that. And then you'll see they show you what that would look like on the ad that people see. So there's that, which is cool. Then you launch your campaign and you see how it goes. Right, I want to show you my dashboard just to give you another couple of tips. Right, this is my current ad, and I just wanted to show you a little bit of the targeting on it. You sometimes, look, you see here, they've got, this one now costs less to bid on that than what I set. So I've set 61 pence, and actually you might only need to bid 52 pence for that one. So you can hit apply and it will change. I would suggest you pop into this dashboard every now and again, have a look at your keywords and have a look at, do you need to change any of them? Have the prices changed? You might need to put the prices up, obviously. But you can see, look, this one's cheaper. So you can change what people are paying. You can also see how many sales you've made and whether you've got your return on it. Now, what I would say, I have absolutely seen an upturn in my sales, which is not as a result of the direct ads, because it's not showing up in my dashboard, but I have got so many more sales than normal, and I think it's due to my book being bought more, so it's showing up more because it's higher in the rankings. I also think there might be, I don't know whether this is true, but I suspect that if people are navigating through in a certain way. So they might see your product and then maybe they look it up later, or maybe if they've looked up, you know, the sponsored thing was for the Kindle thing, but they ended up buying the paperback, that it doesn't actually associate with the ad that they clicked on in the first place. I don't know if that's true. I might be completely making that up, but I've seen so many sales that aren't linked to my dashboard, but that absolutely are as a result of me running ads. So my amount of sales has massively increased. So yeah, you can just go through, you can adjust what you're paying, you can adjust your keywords. You also have this option to turn some off. So, oh, I don't like that one, it's not working, I can turn it off for a bit, but I can switch it back on if I want to later. So revisit your ads and have a look at the keywords that you've chosen, the bids that you've set for them. Can you play with them, see what's working, see what's not, change them about? And I found that really, really useful. And I definitely found some keywords that people just weren't searching for. So yeah, I would suggest going in and having a look at that.
So I hope that you found all of that useful. Please do hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this one. Take care.